Hey everybody, welcome back to Runaway Roses. Today, I just thought I'd show you a quick, easy upgrade that I did to my truck suspension that I feel like it really helped. So if you want to check it out, stick around. So we just got back from a 3-week, 5,000-mile camping trip. We had a great time, and before we left, I did add a little minor suspension upgrade to my truck, and that is the SuperStops by Superspring International. And they really worked great. It was very simple. They're just the bump stops to go to the overload springs. I'll show you that. I'll show you the system before I even put it on the truck, and then I'll show you now that with it on the truck and the camper on the back of the truck. So you'll see how that sits with that system on there. So let me go ahead and show you what it is, and then towards the end of the video, I'll talk about how it helped or didn't help with our trip. Here's the SuperStops by Superspring International. These are the pads that for the bump stops for the overload springs. So I'm going to replace those. And this is how they come, just a set of 4 of them, and they're adjustable in 2 different sizes. The nice part about this is, like I said, it comes in 2 different sizes. So you can basically just take them apart, and you can take the middle one out, which is probably how I'm gonna do it, and then just do the one size, and then that way, I think this is about 1 inch spacer, and then the thickness of the bump stop. So replace the ones that are on there, but if you need more spacing, you can double it up, use the whole thing, and then you got that whole thing, and that takes up a lot of spacing, so it'll hit your overload springs much quicker. So pretty cool. These things are expensive. I think I paid about $250 for these things, but hopefully they'll work well. I just want a little bit of spacing between the factory spring and the factory bump stop that's there, so I just want a little bit more, so it'll contact a little sooner. Still want my truck to actually squat a couple inches when I put the camper on it, so I don't want to use the whole thing. So let me grab a measuring tape and see what the thickness of this is. Let me put this thing back together here at the normal full height. The thickness is 3 1/8. Just about 3 1/8. So that's quite a bit of spacing there. I don't really want that much. And without it, I'm looking at 2 1/8. So it's a 1 inch spacer that you can put in the middle. The factory one on my truck is about 1 1/8 right now, so this will basically be adding, 7/8, 3/4 of an inch or so after you put it on, and just see what the difference is. I'll have to double check the height on the factory one, but that's about right. So let's put them on and check it out. Let's go down and take a look at these springs underneath the truck here. You can see where it's been rubbing back there on the rear one, as well as the front one. But most of the time, when I put the camper on, the rear one makes contact, but the front one doesn't. It has, bumped just from driving down the road and touched it. So I'm thinking if I put them on front and rear, let's go to the other side of the truck here. Here's the front. That one, contact pad doesn't look like it's been rubbing quite as much. And then the rear, kind of the same thing. Kind of just depends on the weight of the camper. I don't really need them so much with this truck because the truck doesn't really seem to care about the weight of the camper. As far as basically when I put the camper on, it's not squatting all the way down on those overload springs. So it's not like I really have to put them on there. I'm just thinking that it might actually help make it a little bit more stable and just take up that spacing. Right now the truck is squatting, I don't know, 2.5 inches maybe or so. So that would probably take out, a half inch or so of that. Now when I say squatting, it's not actually squatting to where the back end of the truck is lower. It actually either rides level or a little bit more of a rake on it already. So when I add those, it's just gonna keep the bed height, just a tad bit higher. So it's not really squatting per se, but I just thought maybe I'd put them on there, just try them out, see if it makes things more level, or or if it just helps it ride a little bit better. It rides great as it is. No complaints there at all, honestly, but let's see if we can improve things just a little bit. I'm not doing any major suspension modifications to the truck. The truck doesn't need it. It rides great with the factory suspension as it is. I actually bought these, what do you call these things? These SuperStops. I keep forgetting the name of them. Actually bought these with our Bigfoot truck camper. But now we actually have another truck camper. We just sold the Bigfoot and we got a Lance 1172. So this may be a sneak peek. I don't know if a video of the reveal of the new camper will be out by the time I put this out or not, but this camper is heavy. So it's 5,000 pounds unloaded. Plus we just put our stuff in it, which is about another 550 pounds. I know that because we weighed it when we took it out of our Bigfoot truck camper. So, we got 5,500 pounds or so, plus water and, actually some clothes and groceries and stuff like that as well. So it's going to be a heavy load on this truck, and I just thought maybe putting these SuperStops on there maybe would help a little bit. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm going to throw them on, and we'll see what happens after I get the camper loaded. There it is. There's the factory rubber overload spring bump stop thing. I don't really know what you call it, but it's very dense, very firm rubber on there. Hopefully the aftermarket ones will be as solid and good as these are. So now that you've seen what the SuperStops are, now you're looking at our new Lance camper on our truck, and that's about 5,600 pounds worth of weight on the back of that truck. So when I added these SuperStops, they really did just kind of help just stable the truck out. You can see there, it's just sitting on that's the back one. Flip over here to the front, and you can see that. So it really basically just helped give the truck some extra stability. I don't know how much it actually did as far as the ride quality. That's kind of hard to say. We haven't driven the truck with this particular camper on there very much to really know about the difference with the ride quality. However, I do feel like it actually did help with just the support of the truck as you're going over the road. And, a lot of roads out west are very rough, so there was just a lot of washboard and that sort of thing. And it really felt like it just kind of helped stabilize the truck when you hit one of those bumps. So I think that was a big advantage to having those stable loads on there. And, for the price, they're not cheap. However, I really do feel like they worked. It was about $250 to put these on, but I feel like it's a good option. And I only put the one the one block on there, and because I didn't want to use both of them because I didn't want it to make that much contact. So when the camper is off the truck, there's still plenty of space between the spring and the bump stop, so it's just going to ride normal when the camper's not on there. So it's really worked out great. I really like the way that they're shaped, so they just kind of mold around this bracket that comes off the frame, so it really holds them good and snug and tight. Of course, it's got a bolt on there, but there's no movement in those brackets because of the way it's shaped. So it's real smart, not just a flat surface bolted to the bottom of the bracket. It really hugs that bracket that comes off the frame. The SuperStops basically just help the springs make contact a little bit sooner with those bump stops. That way, it just gives a little bit more support without actually overdoing it. I could have put both of those blocks on and that would have made contact much sooner, but then the edge of the truck probably would have sat a little bit higher and that wouldn't have allowed the truck to come down to where it's at now. The truck actually still sits at a little bit of a rake. So the back end here at the top of that rail is actually 39.5 inches there. And then at the front of the rail, it's 38.5 inches. So it's still a 1-inch rake on the bed of the truck. So I like that. So that gives us a little bit of room for if we put a full tank of fresh water in there, an extra 400 pounds or whatever else we might bring with us. So it does help to make contact and give it a little bit more controlled ride. So if you're looking for something for your overload springs to make contact with your bump stops a little bit sooner, check out these SuperStops, because I really do believe that they work quite well. At least they did for us. This is not a paid endorsement. I purchased them. I bought them off of eTrailer. We'll put a link down below in case you're interested. They got them, I know, for Ram and Chevy, GMC, and Ford. So you can check those out for whatever kind of truck you got. But I really do feel like they work. Like I said, a little expensive, however, but you get what you pay for, right? That's what I always believe. So hopefully the video will help you out. Hope you enjoyed it. And please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time on Runaway Roses. Bye-bye.